Talks, baby. Tamia Lee Talks, baby.
Hello. Hey.
Hello. What up?
What up? It's been a long time.
Yes, it has. Yo, this is crazy.
I know. I was like, I have to get him on.
Yeah, I feel like
How you been?
it's overdue. And I didn't even know you was doing this, but it's overdue. I've
Yeah.
been real good. I am breathing. I am alive.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to be home.
Yeah. Blessed is the word, I guess.
Yes, for sure. God is good.
Yes, he is. All right. So to everyone who is listening now, this is the Tamia Lee Talks Podcast. I am here with one of my favorite dance educators, dance teachers, choreographers, ROB BYNES. Hey, ROB BYNES, how you been?
I've been good. Life has been kicking and moving for some time now within this dance journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take them a little bit back.
Right.
How I know you. So I know you from Camp Best days. I don't even know when the last time.
Honestly, 2014, I can remember being there. Mm-hmm. Maybe 2015, I had already stopped. So it had to be the summer of 2014. Maybe might have been the last
time you were there.
Time. Yeah, and that's when I got signed to the talent agency as well. Mm-hmm. So that's when like everything kind of switched for me.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about your roots, though, coming from Piscataway. Mm-hmm. Let's get into that. So you went to Piscataway High School?
Yeah, I'm born and raised. I always lived in Piscataway. Maybe I did 1 year in Plainfield, but Piscataway, both sides of my family are heavily in Piscataway. I graduated 2012 from high school.
Okay. And I know I saw on just doing a little background research, being prepared, because I like to be prepared for stuff. You used to do talent shows at your school?
Yeah, I was a part of a crew called DFO. It stood for Dance Floor Owners, and we finished out the talent show every year from 2009, 2012. Okay. It was kind of just known that we were going to close it out. Okay. So that was my my start to some sort of organized dancing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how did you get into did you always know you wanted to dance, or what was that like?
Well, I started dancing in church as a praise dancer. Mm-hmm. So that was my beginning. That's my earliest dance memory. Mm-hmm. I didn't grow up in a dance studio or anything like that. Yeah. You know, just as Black people, we got rhythm naturally. And that's just kind of how we learned how to dance. Mm-hmm. You know, we got a strong two-step. We got the electric slide, cha-cha slide, all the house parties.
We got some rhythm.
Like yeah, and then Jersey Club was like snap, like we have our own culture here. Mm-hmm. And that was my upbringing for sure.
Now, I know our families are close. I went to church with your sister, your cousins, mm-hmm. your family, the whole BYNES family. Yeah. Did you actually like dance in North Stellan AME church?
I went to church in Plainfield mostly. Yeah. So Plainfield and Piscataway, our communities intertwined. Mm-hmm. So I played Pop Warner football in Plainfield. We went to church in Plainfield, mm-hmm. but we always lived in Piscataway. So mm-hmm. No, I went to AME sometimes, but it was more so this church in Plainfield where I was a praise dancer.
Mm-hmm. Now for me, you know, when I was going to Camp Best, I was also going to North Stellan AME at the mm-hmm. With Pop Saunders, Kenneth L. Saunders Sr.
Yeah.
And from there, I actually started going to Camp Best, and I met you, mm-hmm. and you were just, as a dance educator, dance teacher, you were just always live. Like your energy was always there. You really pushed me to want to dance, because I was like, okay, I got rhythm. I can do this. So then I, a little dancing was here and there. Dance for Keen for a little bit, but you
Oh, you
went
were on KDT?
hard. Yeah. I
Okay, yeah.
I danced with KDT and KDM. So
Okay, cool.
there was two dance teams.
Right.
But from there I was just like, okay, I'm gonna start my podcast. So then I thought about you. And you actually flashed over my Instagram, like I would say like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, oh my
Mhm.
God, Rob Bynes. I was like, I have to get him on. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Just to give him a little story. So for those who don't know who Rob Bynes is, who is Rob Bynes?
Rob Bynes is a professional dancer, dance educator, starting to step into choreography. I mentioned to you a little bit that there are differences. We'll talk about that. But yes, I am a God-fearing man making his way through the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm passionate about dance. I'm passionate about helping young Black men as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that I want to go into in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been a professional dancer for 6 years now, going on 7. And I found my purpose through teaching in particular.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's take it from when you stopped at Camp Best, and I know you said you were a part of a talent agency. Am I correct?
Yeah. I was
So-
actually at Camp Best when I got the email
Okay.
that I was going to be brought in to be signed to the
Okay.
agency. Yeah.
What's the name of the agency? What is the name of it?
It's Block Talent Agency, BLOC. We have
Okay.
people in LA and New York.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And with that talent agency, you were able to meet and do. Tell us a little bit about the things that you were able to do with that
Mhm.
talent agency, some of the places and heights that you've reached.
Okay, so yeah, the talent agency, that's a good question because people always want to know, like, oh, so do you work for them? Do they work for you? Basically, they represent you and they can get you into doors that regular dancers will not be able to get into. There may be a big audition coming up for an artist and you have to get an appointment to show up to the audition. So the agencies are the ones that get you the appointments. They say, hey, are you available? Chris Brown is having auditions tomorrow. And you say, yes, I can make it. You show up with your headshot and resume. Mm-hmm. But the dancer is the one, or the actor or the model is the one doing the work. The agencies are representing them on the business aspect. And sometimes they have 10% taken out, but most of the time the jobs will just pay them separately. So you won't have to have anything taken out. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's basically just to get you into doors. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that could get you into acting and modeling as well, even if you were signed as a dancer like I was.
Okay. So how old were you when you joined this talent agency?
I had got signed right before my 20th birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. At that point I had done 3 semesters at Middlesex. Okay. And I told my mom, I was like, man, I think this is what I want to do. Yeah, like I think that the agency is what I want to do. And she's like, okay. Mm-hmm. And it definitely has not been easy. I've gotten the pleasure to work with some amazing artists and companies. Yeah.
So I know you talked about it. It definitely hasn't been easy. How was that as a 19-year-old, almost 20-year-old young man who is Black, growing up in the society and the things that we already face? How is that being disciplined and then having to were you on like a strict regimen or schedule that you weren't able to do other things like young teenagers do?
Well, it's funny because I didn't have any references for what the life of a dancer looked like. Mm-hmm. When you hear people dance, you don't really know too many people that dance professionally. You just see the movies, you see the TV shows. So a lot of it was a learning curve. And I had to realize, oh, wait, I need money to support my dreams. Like if I want to take a train to go take a class, I'm going to need money. Yeah. And it definitely, I was like, okay, so I'm not booking any jobs right now. What does this mean? Mm-hmm. And I had to teach to make my money until job opportunities started rolling in. And I had to learn about the connections that you have to make. But once I got into it, I was like fully into it. And it was bittersweet because it made me go so hard for dance that maybe I wasn't taking care of myself in other ways, like making sure my finances were good or being present with my family a lot of the time. Like, I'm super family oriented, but I'm also very like driven by my goals. So sometimes I'll just be like, all right, mom, I'm leaving, and be out to New York. Or I had this dance team that I practiced with at Rutgers. And looking back, I'm like, man, I was really just going. And, you know, you miss out on a lot of things. Like, oh, where's Rob? Oh, he's dancing somewhere. And I don't regret it, but I'm also like learning the lesson now. Like, okay, I can pursue my dreams, but what matters most to me
also
needs my attention. Yeah.
And I know that balance had to be, difficult, because it's like you didn't want to have to choose between chasing your dreams, and then also with your family support. I know you said you're a big family man. What has their support mean to you thus far?
Well, they always were supportive ever since the high school days. And then once I went professional, it was kind of like, oh, we don't know what this means, but we know you're good. And then during the periods of time where I was not booking any jobs, there was some like, hey, all right, I understand you chasing your dreams, but you also have to be able to support yourself. So I kind of had a goal to not prove them wrong, but prove myself like, no, I can actually make a career out of this.
Yeah, I can do this.
And then I did. I started to get the ball rolling, and then they were like, okay, so I see that, like, oh wow, like we get to see you on TV. I didn't know that this was an option. The first music video I did, or the first award show that I did, it was kind of like, oh, like we actually can show people what you're doing, and it's not this mystery,
Yeah, it's actually they actually were able to see you do what you love. As far as the people you've worked with, who was your very first, like, whoa, like this blew my mind, I'm actually dancing with this person? What was your first, I guess, big event, big gig?
Well, I mean, I could kind of go down some of them that were pivotal. The very first one, I wasn't even dancing. I was in the Jadena Classic Man video as an actor, I guess you could say. And that was the first thing I could actually show people, like, oh, I'm in this music video. And that song did very well.
It did very well.
Yeah, so it's like, yo, Rob's in the Classic Man video. So that was a thing. My first, like, whoa, was Kendrick Lamar at the Grammys in 2018. So I did other things between there, but that was like, yo, I can't believe I'm actually dancing with my favorite artist, first of all.
Kendrick's your favorite artist?
Yes, he is my favorite artist, favorite male rapper at least. And it was at the Grammys. So two things at once that I never even like, people say, oh, I always dreamed of this. And I never dreamed of it because I didn't know what was possible within dance. Yeah. And it's crazy. The moment that I knew how big it was is the day before, during sound check and everything. You could see the names on the seats of where people are going to be.
He saw
and
the names.
I'm like, Beyonce and Jay-Z about to be sitting right there. And I'm looking at the other names. I'm like, all these celebrities are going to be sitting there watching me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be on TV. So that was the first, like, whoa.
Can I just give a little sidebar?
Yeah.
My favorite artist is Beyonce. I would have probably went down and took a picture by the name.
Oh, you Beehive. Yeah.
I'm definitely like, whoa, I'm definitely a part of the Beehive, but enough about me.
Right. My sister, man.
Yes.
Every time anything Beyonce, Rob, you should have been in that.
Yes.
Should have been in that, Rob. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so Kendrick Lamar, you danced with him in 2018.
Yeah.
As far as we are now in 2020, we're now in 2021.
Oh yeah, a lot has happened since then. Yeah.
Yes. What has happened since then?
So, not to run down all of them, I would say the biggest...
We got time. Brag on yourself. Young black male doing his thing. And I really wanted this time to talk to you because I was just like, I wanted to show other young people who are listening, even older people, that it's black people, young black people doing things in this industry, going after their dreams, chasing what they want, and this is the time to show you off. So talk on. We got time.
Got you. Well, okay, so I did the VMAs with Travis Scott and James Blake. That was the same year, 2018. I did the Grammys again with an artist named Rosalia. She's getting bigger now, a Latin artist. But by far the biggest accomplishment, well, actually, no. Two big things. I did Missy Elliott.
Yes.
Essence Fest. That was like,
whoa.
First of all, it's Essence Fest, so it's all black everything. Like,
all black,
black culture. My first time in New Orleans. And our show was an hour long.
And what year was that again?
That was the 2019 Essence Fest.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was the hardest job of my life. Physically, emotionally, like mentally, because Missy Elliott, she really understands what she wants, and she will let you know if you are not it. The process is grueling because all of her music is super hype and full out. So like energy wise, to be doing her type of choreography for an hour is insane. And we was like going crazy on that stage in front of 500,000 people, the biggest audience I've ever performed in front of.
Yeah.
You look out, you just see all black people, and it's Missy Elliott. That's another one of those things. I'm like, I didn't dream of this because I figured, okay, well, that time is gone. You know, it's kind of like if you grow up and you just know that you're not gonna meet someone that you look up to because they're so far ahead of you already.
Yeah.
It was like that.
And to have that actually happen.
Yeah.
What was that like when you actually booked it and you got the gig and you were like, okay, I'm in here?
To be honest, I was kind of like, how did I get here for a second? Because I'm like, you know, you try not to, but you do second guess yourself sometimes. And you think about all the other people that could have gotten it.
Yeah.
And I talked to my friend who, he's also a dancer for Chris Brown and Missy Elliott. He's the one that kind of helped me put in a good word, as well as the choreographer. And he told me like, yo, she loved your Jersey Club videos. Yeah. And I'm like, wow. Something that I grew up doing helped me get my foot in the door with this major artist, with this like amazing opportunity. Yeah. And it let me know, like, it doesn't matter what I didn't think I was capable of over here. What I do naturally is what got me in. So yeah, that taught me, don't second guess yourself. God will put you right where you need to be.
And it's all in his timing.
Yeah, and that kind of let me know, like, oh, I could do anything. Because if you can get, they always say in the industry, if you can get through a Missy Elliott job, then you could do anything.
So if you don't mind, like, take me a little bit into when you were dancing for her. What was your day-to-day? Where were you at? You were in America, right? U.S.?
Yeah. We had rehearsals in Atlanta.
Okay.
For a month, 8 hours a day, no days off, except for one day, because she was just like, hey, let's just go to this concert to see Trina. He was like, wait, what?
Okay.
So 8 hours a day, you get a lunch break, but 8 hours a day for a month, your body is going through it. Like, you walk into the room, you smell icy hot, and you see Pedialyte and Advil.
Trying to keep themselves physically capable.
Yeah, like, that's the thing. I'm like, you go through all this training, like taking classes, taking care of your body for a reason. Because had I not been ready physically, that job would have been impossible. She literally fired people during the process.
Wow.
So it's like you're never safe. So that was another element of it that had me on my toes and on my A game, because I knew that I could be going home tomorrow. She could easily book my flight and I'm out of here. So like the camaraderie I had with my friend that helped me, we was just like, nah, bro, we got this. And that day to day, she's watching like a hawk. Like she knows her details. She's not getting up to dance with us. So that's even more pressure, because she's staring at you in the corner, and she'll let you know, like, nah, that's not it. Like, you know, she'll call you out by name. And I'm like, yo, first of all, this is Missy Elliott. Like, she's sitting there. Like, this is a real thing. Then you gotta
do my best.
Yeah, you like, okay, I can't be fazed by that. I'm a professional.
Yeah.
You know, I'm supposed to be used to this. So yeah, being away from home was one thing, but I didn't mind necessarily. And those days were long.
Yeah. So when you
But it
actually
was
were
all
able to,
worth it.
oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you
No,
off.
you good. Yeah.
So when you were actually able to get on that stage, and you said, how long was the set?
An hour.
An
Longest
hour,
show.
like full straight out hour dancing.
Yeah, and you got quick
Wow.
changes. So you come out in one costume. In between songs, you got to go to another costume, into another costume. So it's kind of like what people do on world tours, but just for one show.
Mm-hmm.
And I hadn't been through that before. You worried about, oh, I might not get this jacket on in time.
Might not zip it up.
Girls is worried about their hair being good. Like, it's crazy. Like, people missing their cues. Man, it's wild back there. Like, you see what people come out and they're dancing and looking good, but you have no idea what chaos is going on backstage. Yeah. It's crazy.
So if you don't mind me asking, how were you able to keep yourself balanced? Did you do meditation? Like, did you pray? Like, what was that thing that you needed to do to make sure that, okay, let's say you woke up at 6. Okay, right. 6 a.m. I need to do this thing to get through a whole 8 hours of this day. Like, what was that for you?
Well, luckily I had experience doing an hour and a half show. Okay. The year before. I'm a part of this thing called the Monsters Cast, but it's not as important as like the lesson. The hour and a half let me know that my body is capable. And just being an athlete growing up, I kind of had that mentality, like, all right, let's get it. Like, yeah, you know, like that. All right, one more. So through football, basketball, track, that mentality was already within me to kind of just get over being tired mentally. And then, of course, prayer is like my everything. So, and even within the camp, like the choreographer, Missy Elliott herself, all of us, I mean, it was an all Black camp. And, you know, we would have our moments of prayer. So it felt like God is with me all the time. Yeah. And that's kind of how I carry myself anyways. So to have that support from other people, I could look across the room and know that that person is a person of faith as well. It can kind of keep me grounded. And we looking at each other like, yo, this is bigger than ourselves, you know? Yeah. So we need to push through for someone that needs to see this, someone that might be inspired to start dancing or keep dancing, or who wants to work for Missy Elliott. You know, we're representing a lot of people. Me, I'm the only one from Jersey as well. You know, one time she went on IG Live and I was dancing to Jersey Club and people started tagging me and stuff. They're like, yo, Rob's dancing with Missy. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Mm-hmm. And there's someone watching me right now that, you know, that needs me to succeed. So that's kind of the mentality I had for it.
And I think why I thought that question was important, because I'm a big person on manifestation. I believe if you speak it, you pray about it, but you also have to do the work to make sure that you achieve those goals. So do you manifest anything in your life as of now? Like, I know all the accomplishments that you have. Where do you see, or what do you manifest in your future?
What I see in my future, it's funny. I don't think I've ever used the word manifest, but I think the idea of it is something that I do. The principle. Because I'm a dreamer, and something that I want is my own mentorship program. I would love, you know, kind of like the Big Brother, Little Brother programs that you see, and to have a facility where I can have a dance company, but also the mentorship, and probably specifically for young Black men, because I know how much I needed that. Yeah. And either didn't, you know, I think mental health is becoming more important nowadays, and it's becoming cool to talk about it. So I'm like, okay, let's use that and start to actually go to where we're needed. So honestly, I just want to continue to do purpose-driven work. I would like to do work in film, and I also teach around the world. So that's something that makes me feel even better than a random like dance job, because I'm able to look at a room full of maybe hundreds of people and give myself, and maybe that leads to a conversation outside of the dancing where I can impact that person's life further. So yeah, I mean, since 2017, I've taught over 50 classes outside of the US.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
And
outside of the US?
Yeah, like Switzerland, France, UK.
That was gonna be my next question. Like, where have
Korea.
you been?
Yeah. So yeah, I've taught in Switzerland, Germany, France, UK, Korea, South Korea, Belgium, Canada,
the
Spain.
pride, not even pride, just being proud of yourself as a Black male from a small town.
Right, we don't be going nowhere. Like, yeah,
you don't get all these places.
Dance took me to these places. I've never been on a vacation with family outside the country or anything. It was dance that made that happen for me. So I'm like, wow, like, am I really walking the streets of Paris right now? Like,
yeah,
that was amazing for me, because especially being in Piscataway my whole life, we're not seeing nothing too spectacular. So you have to get out. You have to travel. I recommend that for anyone. If you feel stuck in your situation, like, gather up your coins and and I'd rather you pay for an experience than pay for material things. And I can't wait to travel again, because
so out of all of them, what was your favorite?
My favorite is actually the first place I went to, which is Switzerland, because the landscape, it's like you're looking at a painting, and there's this just open mountains that you can just sit and you have your speaker or whatever. And I'm not really into the architecture, but traveling will make you appreciate it. I do love London as well. Like, London is, especially because you speak in English, it's a little easier. Yeah. But I would say London and Switzerland, different areas around Switzerland, were my favorite so far. Okay. For sure.
Okay, so, but I have to, we can keep talking. We can talk all day. But I got to talk about your New Year's Eve performance.
Oh, yeah.
With Sierra.
Yo, man, that is the most full circle moment of my career. Like, what that meant to me was more than the Missy, more than Kendrick, more than any other artist I've worked with that I didn't mention. Like, that was huge for me. And it's funny because you remember the Cool Off challenge that Missy Elliott did? Yeah. So when Missy posted my Cool Off challenge, I later found out that that's what helped me get the Sierra job, because her choreographer, so she saw it. Sierra and her creative director, Jamaica Craft, who is like a celebrity choreographer in her own right. She saw me doing the Cool Off challenge, and she followed me, started looking at my videos. I'm like, oh, cool, Jamaica Craft is following me, which, if you don't know, that's a big deal. And then she asked me to do the regular Sierra music video, like the original Rooted music video. So this isn't even the club version. And so, what people don't know is, after I did the music video, she reached out like, hey, Sierra loves you, but obviously we could only use a certain amount of clips of one dancer. Can you do your own visual to the song? All guys, just do your thing. And I'm like, can I do a Jersey Club remix instead? Yeah. So the song that's out right now came from me having an idea. So I hit up a DJ that I know, like, yo, can you remix this song for me? Because he does, people remix songs all the time. It's nothing. I send it over. They play it for Pharrell. They play it for Timbaland. They going crazy. Next thing you know, Sierra wants to actually release it. So I'm like, yo, now I got to go tell my boy, yo, you about to have a song with Sierra. Yeah. Like, well, you made a song for Sierra
that she's going to use.
Yeah. So Sierra had to send over the official vocals and instrumentals for us to use. And then I made the visual. Okay. And it was my idea to do the visual how I did. She gave me full creative control. And I used dancers from Jersey and New York, Philly, and she really didn't have any part in it. If anything, she was supposed to film something, send it over, and then we were going to edit her in it, but she liked it how it was. Mm-hmm. So I really got to showcase my mind and how I think, how I put together visuals. And while I was waiting for them to finalize that, mm-hmm. she asked, "Hey, are you available to do this New Year's Eve performance?" I'm like, yeah. And I got to book the dancers myself. One of them is actually in DFO, and we grew up dancing together. He even came to Camp Best before. And yeah.
I know. I thought I recognized some of the guys that dance with you, but let's mm-hmm. I'm trying to take it all in. So from what I heard, you guys basically made a whole nother version of the song, mm-hmm. and she liked it that much that she used it
and wanted to release it. And when she asked me if I was available,
yeah,
I didn't necessarily know what that meant, but then she told me, yeah, you're gonna do the same choreography from the video, which hadn't been released yet.
Yeah.
And you can book whoever you want. So I'm like, yo, this is crazy. So one of the guys I booked is Jersey Club through and through. He's not an industry dancer at all. This was his first big opportunity like this. So I'm like, wow, I'm really getting to like pull people Outreach. Up with me.
Yeah.
Yes. And the two other, one of the other guys, I grew up with him, Piscataway. So this is like my brother. And then the other guy, I've known him for like 5 years. So that was the first, because normally I'm the person that's getting booked. I'm not the person that's like, yo, are you available? So now I'm getting to see what that's like.
Yeah.
And for it to be Jersey Club, and we all know Jersey Club is so like Jersey.
Yeah.
And Baltimore Club as well, that the world may not even know what it is or the dances.
That's what I was about to ask you.
It has never been. That was? She knew. Her and Missy are aware. Even her song Level Up, like that sound is Jersey Club. Mm. Like that bass, boom, 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 boom. That's Jersey Club that she did in Level Up. And so I think they're both hip to it, but it had never been brought onto this like mainstream platform like that.
Yeah.
So we literally are going to go down in history, I guess, as the people to do that. So I'm like, wow, this is crazy. All from an idea, because when she asked me to do a visual, I could have said yes and did just the original song. So we had to do the Jersey part, the house part.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was just to see the reaction from it alone was like crazy. Even still, I'm still on a high from it.
Okay. So imagine you on a high. I was sitting there watching TV and I'm like, Mom, like that's Rob BYNES. I'm like, I know that person. I'm like, you know him too. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay, Sierra, okay, Rob, like that's mainstream. So I'm up
like everyone's watching it.
I'm up trying to learn the dance because I still dance. Mm-hmm. I may not be as good as you, but I be putting my little work in,
Uh-huh.
So I'm up. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to learn this dance, and I'm like, okay, Sierra, Cali, Atlanta, too. Mainstream artists it was 4 of y'all, right?
Yeah, it was 4 of us.
4
and she
black
left the
men.
stage. She left the stage and let us rock out. Like that never.
You were
happened.
in your element.
We were not background dancers at that point. We were the artists.
Yeah.
It's like she forced the world to look at the art, in its rawest form. She was like, I'm not even gonna try this and mess it up for y'all. I'm gonna give y'all the stage.
Let y'all rock out.
Yeah, that was huge for us. And when she said, "Got my boys all the way from Jersey," we was like, "Let's go!" Like that meant a lot to a lot of people.
You put us on the map,
right? Because we get overlooked by New York.
Yeah.
Like even when I travel the world, they say Rob BYNES from New York. I'm like, oh no, I'm from New
Jersey.
From Jersey. I know you might not know what that is, but I'm gonna make sure you know now. And now people know.
Yeah. That's a good pointer.
I've been having conversations with people in the Jersey Club community about how now there's a magnifying glass on us, so we need to take advantage of it.
Doing it.
Yeah, keep the momentum going. Yeah, definitely more in the works.
Yeah.
I'm trying to, oh, you asked me about manifesting. I will be breaking into the gospel industry as a choreographer, creative director, dancer, because that is something that you do not see.
Me.
Yo, like that's something, that door, it's like, I don't know, it's two separate worlds. So I'm like, wait, hold up.
No.
I'd rather be over here, honestly, so that I could like actually feel like I'm fulfilling something purpose driven. And this is how I started.
But can I just say, for me, as I don't know if you know this, well, you should, like going from Camp Best, and then I was put in a position at my church to be the liturgical choreographer since I was like 14 years old. So I've been doing that, and I'm still doing it, but with the pandemic, it slowed down.
Right.
But I just wanted to talk about, you brought up a good point, liturgical dancing, or some people may call it differently, but liturgical dancing is not mainstream like other forms of dance. And it's crazy that you brought that up, because I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, you don't hear about like opportunities, like, oh, how can I get into Kirk Franklin, Mary, right? How can I get in contact with Kiara Sheard, the Walls Group? How can I get in contact with these people? And I do have a connect that is helping me. And so it's all in the works right now. He's just asking me about my ideas and where do I see myself. Because there's room for it. And he was glad that I asked him about it, because he's like, man, I didn't think anyone was interested. I'm like, what? Yes. You know, there's a lot of jobs that I have or will say no to just because it just doesn't align with me. So if I could actually get into that industry, that would mean a lot to me. Major. Yeah, and then I could pull people up just like I did with the Jersey Club. And kind of show them that you can get some fly dancers too. You don't gotta be by yourself up there.
That's praising God.
Yeah. So,
like, you know, that industry is like totally, like, the gospel music is there, like the artist is there, but just the liturgical part, the dancing, is just, it needs to be brought up, because it's like it's there, but like you have to go to YouTube to find it.
Yeah, like, we're just as much a part of it as the singing, like dancing and singing. It's like, so if you're not using a dancer, that's an opportunity for someone. Yeah. Like, imagine if Kirk Franklin had a whole dance team, you know,
ensemble.
Right, that would be crazy. Wild. First of all, I'm mad that all his music from the past is gone, because that was the better stuff, you know, like Stomp, Revolution.
Yes.
Got my nephews walking in, but
hi nephew.
But cool. Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Ooh, that just totally threw me off, because that thought was just in my mind. But you made a good point. How has like your morals and things been tested? Like, how do you make sure that you keep the same morals? This is what I'm accepting in my life. This is what I'm not. Like, how do you keep that?
This whole industry is full of tests. So there's always going to be a job opportunity that everyone is viewing as, oh, yo, that's a great opportunity. I'm like, this feels off. Yeah. So what I've had to do is tell my agents who I am, so that they know, oh, I'm not even going to send him to that. So it kind of protects me before I'm even put in the situation. But if I am put in that situation, or it's like on the table, I let people know, like, okay, so this is what I am not going to do. And if you don't want to book me for this, that's even better for me, honestly. But at least you know who I am now. So when something does come up that you like, oh, okay, I remember what he said, this will be perfect for him. Cool. Now I can actually feel like I'm like right where I need to be. But yeah, some of the things that you're asked to do in the industry are like, it'll really test you. And it's interesting because there's two perspectives. You could have the side of, let me avoid anything that's like worldly, or you could be the person to like, all right, well, I'm gonna kind of infiltrate that world so that I can be the example and be the one. And that's kind of what I've done, because if you think about it, Kendrick Lamar, Missy Elliott, a lot of these artists that I've danced with, clearly they're not gospel artists.
No.
But you'd be surprised how many people of faith are on that stage.
Mm-hmm.
So that's even the artists themselves. So I choose to be the light no matter where I go, instead of keeping the dark where it is and never try to help it out. Yeah, but no, the tests are crazy.
Great response. So this conversation could go on and
it
on
really could.
and on.
Yeah.
Because
And
I'm learning.
we'll have our own little, we'll have our own talk on the side too.
We're gonna connect after. But let's just wrap this podcast up. Y'all gonna love this podcast. I know you love it. It's just been great. So I have a few more questions. Let's get to it. Who else do you want to work with? Like an artist that's like, I'm shooting for them. I'm going to be with them. I'm going to dance for this person.
Chris Brown and Beyonce, honestly. I feel like that's just like, I feel like I have to have those two goals.
Yeah.
Just as a dancer, that's just important. Also Omarion. But, that would be cool too. Omarion is lit, and he can dance.
B2K?
He can dance. Right. Even him as a solo artist, like, he can dance and he can sing. So that's something that I would want to do. But Chris Brown, Beyonce, and I already know my sisters, they're going to be like, Rob, you better get me them backstage passes.
And with your sister comes to me, because
it's going to be a whole bunch of DMs like, hey, so I heard you was doing the... But yeah, Chris Brown and Beyonce for sure.
Woo, I'm not even gonna get into that. Me and Kayla be like, oh, I'm bigger. No, I'm bigger. No, I'm a bigger fan.
Oh, nah, she crazy.
Shout out to Kayla.
Crazy. Right.
Okay, so where do you see yourself in 3 to 5 years?
3 to 5 years, I will be laying the foundation for. Oh, man. Let me not even back down. I'm gonna be laying the foundation for a building space.
Okay.
The foundation for it, at least. I will be married. Possibly working on that first one. I have a beautiful girlfriend, Amanda May, from Toronto.
Aww.
Man, I will have done a world tour by then with an artist. I will have worked with both of those artists that I just said. I will have established my community outreach mentorship program. Yeah, great credit. You know what I'm saying? All the things.
All the things that come with good living.
Yeah, and I will have been on a TV show, a movie. I'm trying to get all that. Mm-hmm. That's what I see, at least material wise and like surface level wise. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Do you see yourself at all? I guess for your foundation, for your business and your building, is that a way to give back to young people in your community, young Black males? How are you going to connect that with?
Yeah, realistically, I know it's not going to be cut off to just men.
Yeah,
because I'm surrounded by Black women. I have 4 sisters myself. I was raised by in my mom's household. So, and I'm sure my future wife will want to do something for the women. So I just know that I'm passionate about the men's side of it, because that's where I can have the most impact. But, it'll just be outreach in general for young Black and brown women and men, especially in New Jersey, just because Jersey is home, but around the world, honestly, because that's where my reach has been extended to. Yeah.
2 more questions.
Mm-hmm.
What advice can you give to young people, especially those who are trying to go after their goals, reach for the stars, Not even say reach for the stars. Reach for what could be reality.
Right.
What is advice you can give them?
Well, I would say a couple things. One, pray. Pray. You'd be surprised and have some prayer warriors on your side. I would say research the whatever it is that you are interested in, because you could save yourself a lot of time answering a lot of questions before taking action, so that you could find the best route to that destination. Finances are so important. You need to be able to support yourself throughout the process. And that's something that we're not really taught until it's too late. Yeah. So we end up a couple of years in and realize, man, I could have had this much money right now, but I'm broke.
Yeah.
And stay present, because as you're chasing that dream, watch the movie Soul if y'all haven't seen it already. But as you're chasing the dream, you don't want to one day get there and then be like, oh wait, this feels off. Like, why am I not as happy as I thought I would have been? Oh man, I haven't talked to that person in a while, or how's my relationship with my parents and my siblings, like that kind of thing. That's my advice. But the prayer, the research, the finances, and staying present, that will cover a lot of ground. And work, like just work for it, is the obvious one.
This has been an awesome conversation. Thank you for coming on. To close it out,
for having me.
No problem. Make sure you go and check it out. Spread the word about my podcast, because this is my new baby.
Right, yeah. I'm glad you're doing this.
Yeah, and I'll be graduating college.
Come on now, you need some sound effects for the applause and all the good stuff. That's what's up.
Thank you.
Where at?
I actually go to Keene.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm actually graduating from Keene. My major is communications, media, and film. And gotta get into that with the media, the mic.
Right.
But and then I'm also a theater minor.
Okay. Right.
Acting, dancing, singing. I'm down for it all. But to close out about you, give me 3 words to describe ROB BYNES.
3 words. I feel like I've been asked this before. Okay. 3 words. The first word is going to be driven.
Okay.
Very driven. I am aware, very aware, which is helpful. And the last word is going to be anointed. Come on, that was some good. I ate that. Yeah. Anointed.
Come on, somebody in the back of the church.
Come on, the last pew. Yes.
Whew, okay. That was good. Thank you for coming on. I'm going to make sure that we stay connected.
Right.
All right. Bye.
Bye. See you later.
Tamia Lee Talks, baby.